The last time I made a chessboard was over 50 years ago, and I'm well overdue to make another one. Not only that, this antique chess set belonged to my grandfather, and my dad and I used to play chess with this set when I was about 10 years of age, and it needs a new board. If you're wondering where the inspiration of the design came from, Mike McCrory's YouTube channel, Would You Make It, makes some amazing boards and other things, but a lot of chessboards. And at the end of every video, Mike asks,
"So I gotta ask, would you make it?"
And Mike, the answer is absolutely yes. I'm going to make one today. And the board I'm making today has over 80 pieces of timber in the perimeter as an inlay. It took about 10 hours to make. It's absolutely beautiful and worth watching alone. So, before I go on too much, let's roll the OHM logo, get through the milling montage, and I am going to make a chessboard. A pretty good chessboard. Ow. Okay, I've cut the strips that I need on the table saw, but I only cut 2 brown and 2 white. What I'm going to do is I'll glue them up together in pairs, and then I'll cut them down the center and split them because they're about 24 mil thick, and that's too thick for what I want. So if I cut them down the center and book match them, I'll end up with 4 white and 4 brown. After cutting the strips to 51 millimeters, I glued them up with Type 1-2. Slid the boards back and forth to remove any air in the joint. I made a lot of money making chessboards in the family workshop as a school kid, and it's great to finally make another board after half a century. After they dried, I split them down the centre on the bandsaw. Splitting them provided book match pairs, although the book matching basically disappeared in the final glue up. You'll get to see that later on. The original chess tables I made back in the 1970s were made out of Australian red cedar and Huon pine, and I left the sections a full inch thick, which was probably a good idea considering the quality of PVA glues back then. That made a noise. Okay, the stripes are together. I need to flatten them. Square up one corner, run it through the drum sander, then cut it into 51mm strips at a right angle to the stripes. If you have a go at making a chessboard, this is the part you need to get right. How do I know? Let's just say I learnt the hard way. Here I'm tapping in a small panel pin, then trimming off the end to leave a point. The pins pierce the adjoining board for alignment and stop them sliding around during clamp up. That is going to give me the perfect reference point to join them back together, because it's going to want to go into the little divot that the pin. I have a pin there, and I have a pin there, and a divot there. So the divot lines up with the pin. And I learned that trick from watching Lutheran channels where they put fretboards on guitars. Quite a nifty little idea. Time to glue the checkered strips together again. And I started by adding tape to the joins on the underneath of the board to act as a hinge. It's clamp up time. I've devised this crazy pin tape glue up system that I think will work. Only time will tell. Bring it along, fold it down, add some glue, based on the other one. I know how much I want. Now I've got the pins. There's a pin just here. Pin lines up, stops it slipping. The pins and tape did a great job at holding the sections in place when I clamped them up. And if you look closely, you can see a pin on every join. Yesterday I glued the checkered chessboard timber sections onto a ply substrate with 30-minute epoxy. And let's have a quick look. I tell you what, at a glance, that came out epic. Check it out. 10 mil of chessboard timber, 10 mil of ply substrate. I can run that through the double drum sander now, get it flat, but not finish sanded, then give it a coat of protective lacquer, something that won't yellow the white timbers. I'm really happy with that. So stick around and check out the next part. Here I'm cutting rebates in the rosewood border to take the ebony and Huon Pine inlays. Then I cut thin strips of ebony on the bandsaw and 9mm strips of Huon Pine on the table saw for the inlays. The Huon Pine inlays were split in two on the bandsaw and sanded to size to make sure they're a snug fit in the rebate. I've cut trenches or rebates in the rosewood surround for the chess table, and the idea is that I can add Huon Pine in the larger trench and then some ebony in the smaller one. It's time to glue the Huon Pine inlays into the border frame, and I thought it would be fun to capture this step from a few different angles. Okay, I'm ready to glue the ebony inlay into the frame that goes around the chessboard. I've got a system to do this using tape as a hinge, as I would if I was building a box. And if you don't know what I mean, go back and look at my box build video and you'll see how I use tape to hold the box pieces together. Okay, so what I should be able to do is just peel that back now, put the glue in there and then press it back down, and it will keep the strip in place. They look good, and when I sand them down, they're going to look like that. Here I'm cutting a rebate in the frame for the ply to fit into during the glue up. Okay, I'm at the stage where this joint is correct, this joint's correct, that joint's correct, and all I need to do now is to marry the last mitre joint in over here. But what I've done is I've set up the saw sled and I've got this angle absolutely perfect. You could not get a thin piece of paper or anything in that join there. I left the last side longer on purpose so I can sneak up on the join using the miter sled until I get the perfect fit. Oh, get out of here. That is outstanding. Rightio, time to plan the glue up. I think it's time for glue up. My most stressful glue up, but it did have its moments. I prepared well, it's together, happy with the joins. Tomorrow morning, unclamp it, and I'll see what I've done. Till then, don't go anywhere. Okay, it's off with the clamps, and we get to see the top of the chessboard for the first time when it's all together. Here I'm cutting deep cuts in the mitered corners to take large northern brush mahogany splines. The splines will be covered by zebra wood inlay and won't be seen. With a joint like this, I like to give it a bit of a slide to make sure I can see glue on all edges. Because it's such a long, deep spline, I'll put these quite strong little corner clamps on to keep the ends all neat and tight. The shed dog's back. That's the vise. That's timber. Oh, that's been done. 7 more to go, and it's looking good. I'm going to show you how I cut these long strips of Zebrano wood with vertical grain. I don't have a plank that wide. I don't have very much stock of Zebrano wood at all. What I had to do was, out of a piece just a bit bigger than this, where the grain's quite plain on the top and the back, I had to use the side grain. So I cut multiple strips of the side grain, glued them all together, cut them into strips again, glued them together, to get a vertical grained, long stripped Zebrano wood inlay. Then I'm going to add ebony top and bottom, and then on the outside of that, Huon Pine, and that inlay will go around the perimeter of the chessboard and look quite pretty. I'm not sure why I'm doing it. It's overkill and it's a lot of work. But hey what, come on, it's going to be a crazy journey. Come and enjoy it with me. After cutting the 8 sections of side grain Zebrano wood, I glued them into a 4mm thick sheet to get the stripy grain I needed for the inlay. Then I cut the sheet into 20mm wide strips across the grain on the bandsaw, and as I promised, I glued these sections up end to end with CA glue to make one long strip. Once they were dry, I cut them into 5mm thin strips to bring them closer to the inlay size. To stiffen the thin strips of Zebrano wood, I glued them to a length of mahogany and added the first Huon Pine layer at the same time. This is just the start of the complicated inlay, so hang in there. There's still a bit of woodwork to be done at this stage. After gluing up 4 of them, I cut off the excess mahogany on the bandsaw, then sanded them to thickness on the drum sander with an MDF backing board. It's about now I realised how much time it was taking to make the inlay, and I was hoping the result was going to be worth it. So after adding ebony to the Huon Pine side, then flipping it over to add ebony and Huon Pine to the other side, it really did start to take shape. Then it was just a matter of clamping the 4 inlay sections without gluing the outside ebony strips to each other, because I need to keep them separated. Yesterday I cut about 80 bits of timber, glued them up into 4 strips of inlay, and I've got Ebony, Huon Pine, Zebrano wood, Huon Pine, Ebony in strips, which will go into the edge of my chess table as an inlay. It was quite a process, but I'll tell you what, I think they're going to look smashing. I sanded the 4 inlays to the desired thickness. Then I cut a rebate in the edge of the board where the inlays will be glued in later on. After checking they fit in the rebate, I cut miters on the end of the inlay strips and check they line up in the corner without a gap. That's pretty. It's finally time to glue the inlays into the